Thank you for tuning to Anime Radio. Today I'm going to be talking about an anime that surprisingly isn't talked about much, which is something I find quite strange since it isn't a bad anime. This is Baki, and by Baki I mean the 2018 version, not the Grappler Series. If you haven't seen this anime or just never heard of it, I'll be explaining the main plot in the first part of this video without spoiling anything of importance. So after this video you can decide if you want to watch it or not. Baki has 2 seasons, the second one that just came out on Netflix. Generally it's a fighting related anime where we get to see the protagonist called Baki try to achieve a goal that out of context might seem quite weird. This is to defeat his father in an all-out battle to the death. Basically his father is considered the strongest creature alive, which is, as we will see, something more than just a myth. The story starts with us seeing the protagonist in his school since he is still quite young, but even though he's definitely no normal teenager, we see this when he's taking a PE test with short and long distance runs and other generic exercises. He destroys all of them, literally. He breaks the handbar when he was doing pull-ups, and that's just one example. And at the end he is also a great sprinter, trying to beat the 1500 meter record, world record, but doesn't have much stamina since he's barely able to finish the race. He does beat the 800 meter record though. In any case, the plot is driven by the fact that a group of serial criminals have escaped in unison, but in different locations, which is quite odd, since they don't have any type of connections between them, except for the fact that they are extremely OP. During the anime, we see these masters in action meeting Baki and other characters we will meet, facing off and testing their strengths against each other, which comes out to be really well directed and animated fights. As I said before, Baki wants to defeat his father, and his father is the strongest creature, so he needs to be able to defeat all of them to get closer to his goal. But as we will see, it isn't an easy feat, not at all. So, what do I think about this anime? Well, I personally love the style and animation, since fighting animes, or in general animes with a lot of movements, are really hard to manage unless you opt for the 3D animation, which is much easier than 2D. But if it's done right, the 2D animation, it has a wonderful outcome, which I personally think they were able to do, since if there's an anime that mainly concentrates on movement like sport and fighting animes, and the producers aren't able to make a good production, then it ruins the anime completely. Apart from that, the whole concept of fighting isn't anything new, but it still finds a way to be somewhat unique, which is that the fights in the anime are set in a world like ours, following somewhat our laws of physics. For this reason, it's easier to appreciate the feats of power we see being accomplished in this anime, since they are amazing but not too far from our own, without being out there like One Punch Man and My Hero Academia, those animes where the feats of power are way higher, getting to the fantasy and unreal level. It's always able to keep you on edge, since in a match, the winner is never clear from the start. There are exceptions, of course, for example when it seems like there is a clear winner but then the table turns completely. So this is what I think makes the anime interesting, making you forget your useless existence. Now, let's talk about the bad things of this anime. Even though this might seem a little bit nitpicky, as I said, this anime is loosely based on our world, but sometimes it stretches it a bit too far. For example, in one scene, we see one of the AKA villains being punched out of a 37-story building For context, a human can survive till a 9-meter drop, which is maybe 2 to 3 stories. Where after that, it isn't really up to your skill of landing, but more up to how many illegal animes you've watched, since you'll need God by your side for this one. This person is known for their grip strength. In fact, he doesn't fall from a 37 floor building. Come on, that's simply a death penalty. He falls from a 36 floor building. Even though he has already hit his terminal velocity, he grips and just grips to an edge before the end, in some way saving his ass from certain death. Even though this is an anime, I find it a bit too far, since it doesn't really fit well with the rest of the anime. But this was the only thing I found. So for this reason, I love this anime, and I think you should give it a watch and decide for yourself if you deem it a good fighting anime. That's my take on the first season of Baki. I will be reviewing the second one most likely next week, always on Thursday. Before I go, I want to get some announcements out of the way. So, yeah, I know we talk about this a lot, which is anime news. But if you are a new viewer, which you most likely are, Anime News is a live stream where me and Marcus, my colleague, which is the other creator of this channel, Anime Radio, we talk about the latest news in the anime industry. So I personally think this idea is very helpful, since if there's probably people out there that already do this, but I just find it really helpful, since I don't always know all the latest news in the anime industry. So having a live stream where all of that is said and done by people that you can trust, if you do trust us, and you can actually ask them to specify in parts where you don't understand. I just find it a really good thing in general. Other than that, you can expect in the near future some really good double videos, because we have plenty of ideas and we will be executing them quite soon. So sit back and enjoy the single videos for the time being, but don't worry, new videos are coming soon. So if you like this video, check out other videos we've made, and if you like what we do, then subscribe. If you didn't, then leave a comment telling us how to improve, because that's really helpful. Well, that's all. Thank you for tuning to Anime Radio, and we hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye.